name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Well, one Rome finalist is a friend of the show, Jasmine Paolini. I don't think that Jannik Sinner or Tommy Paul are, or even Carlos Alcaraz. But either way, 2 out of 3 will be in the Rome final. We already know that it will be Carlos Alcaraz. Some of us on the Talking Tennis team are already treating this as a foregone conclusion. You know, I saw a beautiful tweet from Mr. Vanj Vermani, who's like, no, I mean, it's definitely going to be Alcaraz against the world number 1. Oh my God, what an amazing match coming up. But, well, there's also Tommy Paul, and there's also Brenner.
There is. And I heard you overhyping the potential matchup. And
No, I was just honestly laughing about the tweet that Vanj made, that someone was like, "Wait, there's also Tommy Paul. You know, he can actually beat Jannik Sinner. You know,
I didn't see that. Let me see.
I mean, I don't know if it's a possibility, to be honest, but sure, okay, yes, it's not a Sinner Alcaraz final yet. The whole tennis world would kind of love it because, well, we still haven't had a big final between them. We still haven't had a 500 final, okay, in Beijing. So a 500, 1,000 plus final between them. But yes, it's not done yet. We're going to be watching now if it will happen or if Tommy Paul proves to be the ultimate deal breaker or whatever. Hello, Fergus.
Hello, how are we doing?
Hey, Fergus.
Can you say that, Ghosty, given it's back-to-back semis in Rome?
He's always said he loves it here. He always says he loves it here. No real surprise.
Loves it so much that he even forgot to move his pickup truck. But Sinner Paul matchup, does he love that?
Not so much.
But what is the head-to-head?
I actually forgot. And I mean, Tommy beat him in Eastbourne for sure.
Okay.
And I think that's the only one, so it's probably 2-1 for Jannik, but I might be wrong in that.
It's 3-1.
Ghosty, we
Jannik.
need to end this. We need to end this myth. Why do we still pretend that's the case? And the Brits do it as well. American men can do fine on clay. Of course, they don't get as much red clay practice as the Europeans or the South Americans, but there are a ton of them who are perfectly fine in these conditions. And I think the myth has to end.
It's 3-1 head-to-head.
Oh, 3-1, okay.
Sinner at the US Open, Sinner in Toronto in 23, and then Paul at Eastbourne, and then Sinner at Madrid in 22.
Okay, Madrid was the one I was missing. But yeah, US Open actually quite interesting. 2 sets that went to a tiebreak, and I think Tommy led pretty heavily in one of them.
First set, Tommy led 4-love, double break, and then threw it away.
Is the only way to the win here for Tommy just to make it a 3-hour slog and basically hope that his athleticism, his physicality is better than Jannik's, because it is?
Totally. It definitely is. I mean, yeah, it's that or a combination of like the most crazy game style, like as much variety as you can throw at him.
Yeah, some diabolical slices.
Yeah.
And, you know, pulling Sinner forward and then lobbing him and then, something ridiculous.
No, that sounds decent. Just as Fergus was saying it, I actually just saw Tommy Paul diabolical slice.
Yeah. Something that's interesting, I've never really thought about it in detail, but I think Sinner won the toss. He chose to receive. I just find it interesting. Some players probably, would prefer to serve.
Yeah, I think serve used to be the meta, and actually someone who revolutionized it a little was Federer. Like he started choosing, despite having a very strong serve, obviously, he started choosing the receive a lot and just like either looking for that early break or just hoping that the opponent will be a little bit, just in the first game. Obviously, you can still be a little shaky, and right now it's probably the meta to go return, right?
Yep.
But that's like over the last 10 years. I think this might be wrong, by the way, because obviously statistics on this, I don't think I ever really saw them. Like, I don't think I ever met anybody who had stats for that. But I do believe that about 10 years ago, it was just serve, serve. Everybody was choosing serve.
Yep.
I think it's really personal preference, to be honest. Like myself, I would always go serve, but whatever
I
you
always
want.
return
Really.
first, if it makes any difference to any professionals in the world.
Depends what your line of thinking is. Mine is that like my serve isn't that good, so if I hold, I really feel very confident going into the next game, and I like that feeling.
Right. Well, Paul has already won the same amount of games as Casper Ruud. And that's that were 3 mistakes in there that Sinner wouldn't have missed yesterday, because Sinner played a crazy level yesterday, and he's obviously going to struggle to repeat it exactly today.
Dave had a Jannik going out early prediction. I mean, I guess if you think about the fact that he had a Navone, Davidovich, Fokina, Serundolo path lined up, I guess I don't hate it. But of course, it didn't pan out. And also, Tommy Paul has just won as many games as Casper Ruud yesterday.
In 4 minutes.
Amazing effort.
I think it was that there might have been a combo. It's not like Ruud was playing badly, but I feel like that was almost like a little bailout match for Casper, having won 9 in a row, won it before resetting before Roland Garros. Just it was like, I'll lose to Sinner here. That's not bad. He's the world number 1. He hasn't lost this year. There are worse places to lose. So, maybe a little bit more of a bailout, but
Sure. And then that bailout comes against the best player in the world, probably still.
Playing absolutely nuts. So,
Yeah, I mean, probably not the best match to talk about this. I mean, obviously, Casper said some stuff after the match as well, and some people think that he, doesn't really believe he can beat these guys, which I don't think he does. But it's not the best match to use as an example, probably. Yeah.
You've been reading too much Pavi G.
It wasn't Pavi G.
I saw that same one. I mean, it was like a fair thought, but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a conversation to be had. In fact, I think we've had it before. Just not really probably that much when you want to have it. Well, Tommy starting pretty strong here.
Yeah.
Some pressure on.
Doing enough.
I mean, obviously, Sinner is like, he hits an insane ball, shot for shot. He's the best in the world, 100%. But he is pretty one-dimensional. Like, there is a way for Paul to extend these rallies, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess what I just saw was what you two were talking about. So.
Probably, yeah. The big forehand, yeah.
Yeah. No, Ghosty Pavi G was just saying how well, yesterday he was saying how in the Big Three era, you would never find someone being beaten by Djokovic, Federer, or Nadal, and 0-1 and saying, well, that was fun, and the sort of the game's gone soft, really, kind of like.
I didn't see that tweet, but that's not true at all. I mean, so many reactions from Big Three opponents over the years where they were just like, I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, that's what Pavi G tweeted yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
All right, we got a break point though.
Sinner double faulting to bring it up. Let's see what Tommy can do. Ghosty was looking at how Paul was going to return. Well, let's see if he even gets a chance to this time.
Did Ruud have a break point yesterday?
Maybe when he was serving out the set. No, I think it was just 15:30 maybe.
It's a really long backhand cross.
Yeah, I know. Who's gonna change it? Sinner is, and yeah, I mean.
Wasn't a quick backhand down the line from him.
No.
Definitely think Tommy could have done a bit better on that one. And I guess, it's just one break point and I'm already saying criticizing him. But that's I mean, you're playing Sinner. You have to do literally everything possible if you want to have a chance to win. But it's not looking bad for now for Tommy, definitely. If he can just be a ball machine.
Right.
Maybe
there he goes, really chopped on
diabolical slices.
There, yeah, he chopped on it.
Yeah, Ghosty, Alcaraz Paul is a very good rivalry, and he really bothers him with how quick he is, defends, very close to the baseline. Definitely a tough opponent for Tommy. For Carlos, sorry.
Second break point.
Good depth. I mean,
you landed that, right?
Yeah.
I was just contemplating the Nurlan question, to be honest. But yeah, it's a perfect start for Tommy, who is definitely ball machining so far. A couple of the slices he threw in also created errors. Nurlan, I think you could compare the Sinner of nowadays to Djokovic, Federer when they were their his age, especially Roger. But 25, 26, nah, I don't think that's... But it's all eye test. I mean, how exactly are we supposed to compare them when it's a different era, different opponents, even different technology by then, to be honest? So, what Federer 25, 26 is 2006, 2007 Federer. That's one of the best players in history, no doubt. Is Sinner one of the best players in history? I mean, his season last year was obviously right up there, but it's all eye test, really. I don't think he's quite there yet, but he has options to develop to a beast like that. And when he's 25, 26, I guess Novak 25, 26 would be 2012, 13. That's not his strongest seasons, but let's say it's 2011 and 15. Yeah, I mean, to me, these guys are higher, but again, it's just eye test. We have no actual data we can use in terms of comparing them without just going into straight numbers, which are what am I looking for? It starts with R. Relative, yeah.
How many times do you see it in these sorts of matches where someone is favored heavily and they get the early break and then there's no backing up of the break? It's always that they break straight back. I know it's 15:30 now, but Sinner's already looking to break back. There's no let up in terms of Paul can't get the break and then go, okay, right, I'm ahead. There's no relax. It's always that Sinner's more likely, especially in the women's game, that Sinner's going to get the break back immediately. Paul wins that a crucial point, so it's 30 all.
I think David was about 2010, 11, so 23 probably. That, I mean, VAR me on that, but it's something like that. I mean, basically he had one slam, and then he went vegan and gluten-free, and then he won the rest. Unless going vegan and gluten-free wasn't at the same time. But anyway, something like that. And Matthew, yeah, we remember that prediction that you had. I still think it's not on, because to me Alcaraz is the favorite for the French. But yeah, if he wins the French, the conversation definitely begins for me there.
I wouldn't say Sinner's the favorite going into Wimbledon. I mean,
no, it'd be Alcaraz again.
Yeah.
Depends. Jannik wins Roland Garros over
Right.
Carlos in the final, let's say, and he's not the favorite for Wimbledon. He already beat him at Wimbledon 3 years ago. I know, long time ago, but I mean, neither of them were in like peak form. I don't know. If he beats Carlos, let's say, to win Rome and Roland Garros, I don't see how he's not the favorite for Wimbledon.
Well, me saying that Paul, in these sorts of matches, it's very tough to back up the break. Paul does just that from love 30, and it's 3-love.
I'm starting to believe, to be honest. I mean, Tommy just looks... Yeah, I mean, just looks like Tommy Paul, in most matches. But let's say, Fonseca in Madrid, where he's just gonna track down everything. And
how many times have we seen this sort of like start from Tommy Paul, and then it doesn't sort of like fades away?
Maybe I don't watch Tommy Paul enough.
Yeah, I mean, even what did they play? Did he play yesterday? Hurkacz? He was up a break, I think, like 3 times.
Yeah, that's true.
First set.
But it was a little different, obviously. I mean, it wasn't like Hurkacz off the ground is not gonna throw the same kind of pace as Jannik at you, right?
No.
Hurkacz was actually just like, if it was a longer rally, he was just like playing it slow, and yeah, it was just more of a drag. There's not the same kind of intensity that Tommy can just like jump into, like in the Fonseca match, for example. So I don't know. I kind of like what I'm seeing so far. Will it stick? Will it be maintained? It's just Jannik doesn't really have any other options than this, right? Just keep smashing away at it, and he's the best at smashing away at it. So maybe it will be enough. Maybe you're gonna see some of that Sinner drop shots or Sinner net play that was added there in 23.
I think Ruud's probably, in terms of favorites for the Roland Garros, is probably probably number 5 or 5 to 10 spot.
Who's number 4 and 3 for you then? Because I think it's all very, very fluid. Like there's 5, 6 guys you could just have number 3, 4, 5, and I don't think anybody can say it's wrong.
I still feel like Novak. I just feel like he's not gonna turn for anything but the slams. But the slams he's gonna turn up.
So Novak is 3 or 4 for you?
Novak is 3 for you?
Novak. I'll go Novak 5. No, actually, I'll go Novak 4, Ruud 5, and then Zverev 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have Ruud at 4. Novak's probably. I would put him probably right next to Musetti, right next to Cerundolo. Like, it's very tight.
Yeah, I was more thinking like, is it Musetti or Ruud?
At the 4 spot.
Novak below them for me, but I still have Zverev at 3 as well.
Right.
Slice of luck there from Tommy, but also earlier there was that volley from Jannik that was not exactly the best, and now
Jannik doesn't miss that yesterday or earlier this year.
I think he doesn't miss that period just before before the break, right? Before the suspension.
Yeah.
Might be some things that like he either didn't work too much on during the break or just needs a bit more time, which is fine. It's not really like his natural game, obviously, so it's something that took him a while to develop, and maybe he just needs a little more. But we'll see. Of course, he can tune it in during this match as well.
They have done the draw for Geneva, Matthew. Yeah.
Yeah, Hamburg is going to be tomorrow, but Geneva is done.
The Hamburg draw has been completely messed up after 4 of their biggest guys.
It was always going to, though, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but they have Zverev at least.
Yeah, that's really all they're relying on.
But it's really like they're only Tiafoe is the second seed. I mean, obviously it was an experiment in terms of ATP 500, and before the week before Slam.
Yeah, Slam.
I don't think we've ever had that on the ATP tour. On the WTA tour, of course, we have it a lot. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's really going to work in terms of attracting the big names, which is perfectly fair. I mean, I wouldn't play it if I was going to win the French. If I was like planning, just.
You're planning to win the French, which is what, next year's task?
Myself, if I was planning to win the French, I would not be playing in Hamburg. Let's just say that.
What?
That slice is causing trouble, which is like crazy.
Dave, I wouldn't. I'd probably put Draper at 6-10, not 3, probably.
Yeah, I think Draper is fine in 6-10 for sure. He's in the mix, just not at the very top. But if somebody says Draper is number 3 or 4, I also wouldn't say, it's just incorrect. It's really very open there. It's kind of just Alcaraz, Sinner, and then whatever you want, really.
What did I say about this diabolical slice? I mean,
yeah.
Did he get that?
I mean, I don't know if it's diabolical, but oh wow,
no, but
he got that.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm excited now to.
Oh wow, yeah. Let's give you a shot to watch it.
I'm not gonna. Oh, okay. Well, I've just seen. It's like the US
Ghosty
Open.
was talking about the Tommy Paul return. This one he actually
it,
stepped in for. Previously, I think he was maybe on the first serve going back a little. But it's also a shot that Tommy Paul has in his arsenal, right? It's just, well, it doesn't always give him the double break lead against Jannik Sinner in the semifinals.
I say this so much that Tommy Paul for like 4 or 5 games or even a set can be like look like he's like 2 in the world or like even the best in the world, and then it just goes. So and
yeah, but why would he why would it disappear for him here? Like he really isn't forced to do much, right? He's just reacting. So what's the catch? Where is it gonna fall apart for him?
I know, but like exact same situation, US Open. He's at his home slam in the fourth round. He's 4-love up in the first set, and then it just disappears. Like
yeah, fair.
Why
would it
disappear?
Here, so.
You're at your home slam playing the world number 1 in the 4th round, like, and then it just disappears. Why would it? But it did. So, if you're an F1 driver, which car would you like to drive? I mean, the McLaren's very fast this year, so I'll say that. No, man.
Lamborghini Gallardo.
If only that was an
I know
F1 car.
I know it's not an F1 car, but why can't I drive it,
I was just about to ask you that. Why can't you drive that car?
Zverev did call Musetti a pusher. And, well, I mean, he does like playing off the back foot, but obviously he was just angry at losing. And
I mean, do we start thinking that Paul's gonna do to Sinner what Sinner did to Ruud yesterday? I mean,
no,
probably the opposite.
No, I think even if this is a bagel in the opening set, we are still just waiting for Jannik to like produce, at least
Right.
a hint of a comeback. But that's probably just like, bias because of, big name, favorite, and but it's looking horrible for Jannik, obviously.
Right.
And yeah, I really don't see a reason for Tommy Paul to go off here. Like he's just so comfortable, right? He's just responding to the big pace. He's athletic because that's his main thing. He throws in the slice from time to time and gets the point every single time.
I just called it so good.
I mean, I don't know if they're diabolical. Like they're
No,
kind of
they're
normal
not
slices,
diabolical
but
in
they're
the
just
term
coasting
of
errors over Jannik anyway.
diabolical is in the term to deal with, as in not like the slice is like jagging everywhere in the court, and there's so much flight in it. Not like that. I mean, like Sinner's just like not dealing with it properly.
Dan Evans, I would say maybe could have a
Dan
Dan
diabolical
Evans has an
slice.
absolutely diabolical slice that
Yeah.
works. Well, used
But
to.
Tommy Paul just slices the ball like me, you, or anybody else. It's quite a scoreline. Anyway, 21 minutes, I think it was.
20 minutes.
It's very much a scoreline. I wonder whether Jannik does give up this game just to focus on set 2. But when was the last time Jannik was bageled?
No, you just need the hold. You obviously want the confidence, and you probably want the ball heading into the second set.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But when was
Has
the last time
post-Duke Sinner been bageled? I mean, was he struggling physically in a set?
The closest was probably that breadstick against Mute, the French, last year.
Was there a breadstick against Rune in Australia this year, or was it like 6-2?
No, 6-2. Oh, there was a 6-1 against Medvedev in the US Open last year.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Really?
6-1-1-6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Then Schoolgate was 6-4 in the Oz this year. I think that was it. I can't remember who he dropped a set to. Schoolgate and
Barely anybody, definitely.
Right.
oh, who was his first round?
I mean, this year Schoolgate and
No.
Rune, right? Jari
Rune,
didn't drop
yeah.
a set. That's just Schoolgate and Rune.
Yeah, Rune, which was 3, I think.
3 or 2, yeah.
Well, I mean, Nerland, technically, Damien's a different time zone to me as well, but just by an hour.
No, I don't feel like I'm behind.
Yeah, guys, do you feel like you're behind to me? I mean,
well, yeah, I actually do, because your stream is like an illegal stream that's like always like.
Brenner is, I think, even quicker than me today.
Yeah, I'm quicker today. That's just on the. I use TC Plus on my computer. It's quicker than when I like stream it through a TV. So. Yeah, I think we're pretty much in line, Damien.
I think you guys are a whole point ahead of me. So.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Is there any chance Sinner wins this set 7-5?
Like, I just feel like it takes one break, then we can have that conversation.
No. I mean, I kind of don't want that. I mean, just stop.
Yeah.
Just let's get this match, going. Let's get this into the second set, and we have that feeling of, doubts and feeling of what the hell is gonna happen. Whereas if Jannik wins 7-5, I'm just gonna turn off the stream. Okay, I'm gonna just promise.
Very true. So true.
Yannick wins 7-5. I'm going off the stream. You guys have fun. I'm just gonna chill, relax, whatever. Go for a walk. Matthew, in regards to your question, not sure. There's definitely like a big, Daria Abramovic, Wim Fissette conversation of like who needs to get fired right now. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that the journalists are overly critical. It's probably more the fans that are like, not the fans you see on Twitter going like Iga, 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 because there's also a big group of that, of course. But like the more neutral-ish. But yeah, I would say it's more the fans than the press. At least like the people I know, the articles I see, I don't think they're overly critical. I also don't think we should be having a parade anytime Iga decides to talk to us. I mean, that's just tennis player talk, to be honest. It's just our jobs, just like it's her job. But yeah, I think the press is more or less okay. Well, Tommy, if you're going to win the set, might as well do it here.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna see a lot of serve and volley. That was his first one though, yeah.
That would be absolutely hilarious.
I know, I read that one too.
A lot of people do that, of course, when they're like behind on the scoreboard. Probably needed a few more games for that to even like be possible. But I don't know if Jannik would have done that. No, probably not.
Yeah, because wasn't it? It was 6-love, 2-love, and then Rude won his first game, wasn't it? So.
And also, obviously, Ruud was in a different position in terms of, his expectations for the match. Whereas Jannik, well, if this is how the match is going to look in the second set as well, he's going to be a bit more embarrassed than Casper was yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2 set points for Tommy Paul, so he has a chance to just nip this whole conversation about me leaving the stream in the bud, and that is a very wild bounce. Seems like everything is against Jannik at the moment.
It's okay. Paul heard that Damien was going to leave the stream if he gave up this set, so he was keen to close it out. Ooh, that's
Pope Leo the 14th is just checking the score on his like Blueberry or whatever, and he's just, oh, that must be a glitch. Jannik has won the first set 6-1, I'm sure.
Oh my god.
2 winners to 13 unforced errors from Sinner in this set. Tommy had a healthier 6-8 rate. Anyway, I mean, it was total domination, obviously. That's kind of the main story. 1 out of 18 unreturned serves. Wow, the
That's
Sinner
insane.
serve not doing anything, yeah. Jannik didn't hit a single slice in this set. I feel like that's pretty rare. This will be a quick stream. Do I want to join Ferguson Brennan for the post-match show? What is the post-match show?
I think we're just gonna preview. Did we preview both finals or
both finals? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, yeah. If this is longer, I might revisit this spot, but yeah, maybe.
It's Damien's world, and we're living in it.
Exactly. Well, I don't know. I think Sinner has to respond. I think there's no.
What is it you always talk about, Brenner? The breadstick.
The breadstick fade, yeah.
Yeah, the breadstick fade, yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah, bagel fade as well.
Yeah, bagel breadstick fade. He's doing it on home soil. I'm curious how the crowd is. It's probably crickets out there.
Yeah, but I assume like it might get to the point where Paul misses a first serve and things start to get a little rowdy. But Did you guys watch the Zheng Goff match last night?
I watched the first set and caught a little bit of the second. I thought it was over like 5 times as well. I kept checking my phone.
There were a lot of breaks. Zheng served for it.
And then it was like 4 straight holds heading into the breaker. Like
Zheng
love
served
holds.
for it at 5-3. And then kind of just lost it.
WTA finals, same scoreline pretty much.
Yep, exactly the same scoreline, yeah.
That's right. What an epic.
Even if Goff wins tomorrow, she's still third favorite for me.
Yep.
Dave.
She's still what?
Third
favorite.
Third favorite for Roland Garros. I mean,
Yeah.
I said it's pretty like open to suggestions and personal preferences on the ETP. I think on the WTA there's even more of that.
All right.
Can you really say no to somebody saying Iga Świątek is the main favorite? No, not really, but I wouldn't place her first right now.
No.
Alcaraz Musetti today, by the way, very underrated. I mean, people are just saying it was the most trashy match of all time. Complete BS. I wonder if Zheng and Goff was like that too, because I didn't watch Zheng Goff.
I had someone, I had tweeted about Zheng Goff and someone replied saying longest match, lowest quality. It wasn't the best, but like I've definitely seen a lot worse. Like so much worse. Like it wasn't bad. Like there were some crazy shots, but like yeah, I think people are just hating on it because it was like 3.5 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the
That's a weird
unfortunate
reason
outcome had
to
to be
do.
like off the charts though, Fergus, right?
There was 43 break points.
Yeah. I mean 3.5 hours. It's really good.
Yeah. I read that stat and I was a bit in shock.
Jannik trying to get off to a better start in this set. Of course, he's serving first this time. Maybe that's where it all went wrong, you know? Maybe he just should have been serving first.
He chose to receive.
Yeah, it's all in the coin toss.
Yeah, exactly.
It was always the coin toss.
Whoever wins the coin toss, you know. Well, actually, no, it's whoever loses the coin toss, because you know you then have to actually do well what you choose to do, and if you don't, then you know you it's just shocking. She's so inconsistent with everything she does. I wouldn't say she's inconsistent. I mean, I'm going to ignore that comment from Ghosty. And Nerland, yeah, I consume, I think, a normal amount of bread. I don't know what you consider a normal amount of bread, but yeah.
Dave, please don't say that. I mean, Paulini is not the favorite at Roland Garros over Świątek. No, please don't. Zheng? No, also not. Iga has to be top 3. I just don't think she's number 1.
Who is your favorite?
Sabalenka. Percentage-wise, you know, I think she has to be top. But if we see the draw, I mean, it's very likely that there will be someone who I will think has a higher chance.
Yeah, if Świątek gets Ostapenko, third round.
Yeah, Świątek needs to avoid like 30% of the draw right now.
Right.
And if she does that, she might have a cakewalk. Except, you know, in the past, it used to be like 2 or 3 players she needed to avoid.
Ostapenko, Yala.
Collins. Noskova.
Yeah, true.
Karen Garcia.
You can't avoid her. I can almost guarantee that. Another
Well,
Garcia.
first game went to Jannik, of course. Let's see if he's fired up to take the break potentially. First point would suggest so, with a deep return and a nice capitalization on the short ball.
Matthew Brooksby's playing qualies in Geneva, and Medjedovic is.
He dropped out.
I think he pulled out.
Yeah, he did. No, he pulled out of Hamburg. Yeah.
That was obviously the loss that you guys were talking about earlier, right? For the event.
Big time.
100%.
I was devastated. When I think about, I don't think I've watched Medjedovic since he, so unnecessarily tore all the muscles in his hamstring against Tsitsipas, and then was just only hitting winners off of one leg. I think.
I mean, he had a terrible. I think his return was to Miami, and he had a terrible loss to Hijikata, and it would have set up a Djokovic, Medjedovic.
There's a lot of good matches recently that Hamad could have set up. Musetti twice in Madrid and Rome, I think.
Right.
Well, clearly not going to be setting up much in Hamburg. And he still hasn't won a Grand Slam match.
Really?
He acts like 0-4.
That's rough.
5 sets against Marozsan. I'm not sure he went 5 sets in the other ones.
That's right. I was at some of that match, actually.
Might have gone 5 at Wimbledon against somebody, but I'm not sure who it was.
Didn't you go 5 in the quali final against the Kazakh? How do you say his name? Is that who it was?
Zhukayev? No, he lost to him in the second round.
Okay.
But I think you might have gone 5 at Wimbledon in 23. Either way.
Obviously.
If Kaboli gets Runa again, I'll take that. That was quite entertaining last year.
Yeah, I would take that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Great point, Jannik.
Double fault, setting it up just like it was in the second game of the first sets, but the other way, yeah. First break win of the match, obviously, for Jannik.
Saves.
Yeah. Tommy Paul just showing off the legs here.
Thing is that Paul can do this literally all night.
Yeah, that's right. Impressive.
If it goes, the longer it goes, the more likely I am to favor Paul, to be honest.
Yeah, but the first set was only 30 minutes, right? So.
Yeah, but still, I feel like Sinner's got to feel a little repercussion at some point,
Possibly. He is walking somewhat gingerly, but that's like always, right? I mean, Sinner does that all the time.
Ginger, so.
He's also ginger, yeah. He probably drinks ginger ale.
Yeah. That was a you joke, Damien. So,
That he's ginger?
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was pretty good. I was like, Fergus said something that was reasonably funny? Nah. And now I know.
Yeah, I just wanted to be like you, basically. The tennis encyclopedia. Who's funny?
Can't blame you.
And
Second
there it
break
is.
for Sinner.
Oh. Backhand down the line, back behind Tommy. Early break.
Breadstick fade away.
Yeah.
He does break. Wrong footing Tommy with the backhand down the line. Sinner hears Pope Leo's tennis confession, was it? The beautiful headline from Reuters. Journalism is alive, ladies and gentlemen. And Jannik Sinner is also alive.
Most people that play Sinner's game lose, Ghosty. You do well to beat Sinner his own game.
This is Tommy doing his homework. Great anticipation. Short backswing.
Oh, Andreeva, yeah. Why didn't we mention Mira in our...
Oh yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot she exists. Thanks, Nuran, for bringing it up. She's definitely not below Svitolina. In fact, she might be in my top 3, 4. Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably 4 for me.
Yeah, I guess I have to place her below Coco just because she crumbles every single time she plays her.
Right.
Yeah, Dave, there's no chance I ever hit 20 before a match, no.
Max probably 10.
Yeah, 5 on each side, I think, is more or less.
Yeah.
5, 6. Yeah.
I do 3 or 4.
Don't land any of them, and then ace first up. That's always how it goes.
It's probably happened once or twice, but definitely not too often. Most of the time, it's don't like any of them and then don't like any in the first game.
Second serve gets a big look. First game that I'm serving, 100%.
Well,
No,
now Jannik is in that spot that Tommy was in last time, right? It's just like mirroring. I mean, of course, it was love 30 for Tommy, but here it's 15-30. But like, it's just a mirror image so far of the opener.
I mean, Tommy is just doing everything he can and executing it at this point.
Haven't really seen Tommy miss that much in a big way as such. Yeah, using the slice again. Sinner hits his first slice of the day.
That slice was somewhat diabolical, by the way.
It looks diabolical, right?
Damien, you're not listening to me. I can see it. I just feel it coming.
Cool. Sinner did not feel that inside in coming from Tommy. He even claps his racket. Many times we say that if that shot is working, that means that Tommy Paul is like, top 5 in the world.
On fire, yeah.
It's, yeah.
Two break back points.
Mario must be having an interesting day right now.
Yeah.
Even though Paul won the first set 6-1, Mario's probably sweating in his seat right now.
I mean, Sinner doing like his best Hoobie impression. I mean, those are two just like insane serves. I don't know. Down break points. Trying to hang on to this lead, yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned just 1 out of 18 unreturned serves in the opening set. Well, he just added 2 to the list.
This was Sinner did so well at the Australian Open and the whole of last year. Whenever there was break point, Sinner would just automatically find a first serve. It was so rare that Sinner would fail to miss the mark on that first serve when serving at break point.
I'm just laughing at Super Dave's comment. That would be a nice
Mario. Mario is the Pope, Dave. You just don't know yet.
He was in the running, yeah. But they just didn't want to go with an Italian again.
Such a heavy backswing from Sinner in that ad point. Just trying to absolutely crush the ball as much as possible.
Successfully.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, he didn't break it, so maybe not, but I don't know what the intention was. But if it was to win the point, then yeah.
Yeah, Summer Coco's serving last night is definitely leaves a little to be desired. Second serves as well.
Wow. Damian Bublik breaks Echeverry and is serving for the match.
I had
Motivated.
Echeverry doing that title.
Yeah, I thought he would.
Who's on the other side of that? Who's on the other side?
It's the quarterfinal. It's Caravelli,
I thought.
Altmaier, Bublik.
I think it's Altmaier, no?
Yeah, it is.
I thought this final was on Saturday.
Sunday.
Bordeaux and Turin are on Sunday. The other challengers are on Saturday.
Right. Makes sense.
They are assuming that the players who reach the final in Bordeaux and Turin are not going to be playing Roland Garros basically. Yeah, which I think is actually coming true besides one player, and that's Basilashvili.
Right.
I just find it funny all the qualifying draws for both Hamburg and Geneva. You know, there's like two guys ranked in the top 100, and then you skip all the way to like 240 because the rest of them are playing.
You're gonna see the Skopje draw tomorrow, which is also pretty funny. Delian is like 96 in the rankings, and then the next guy is 200 something.
Yeah.
If Delian doesn't take home the title, that's
Yeah, I mean Pirosh is in there, and he's kind of like winning every single match in straights, so maybe. But yeah, of course, there's gonna be pressure on who got to win that. Yeah, these weeks, like Grand Slam qualifying weeks, obviously, yeah, they're a great opportunity for somebody to make a qualifying debut at a 250 or even a 500 this week. I think some players who like didn't sign up for Hamburg, like what are they doing in Geneva? You know, they could have been playing 500 qualifying,
right?
But I don't think they were expecting this.
Damian, so will Basavelli, will he play qualies?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I actually haven't checked where he is on the list, but from what I remember, he wasn't too close to the cuts for the main draw, right? Because I think when I was doing the whole calculations for the wild card, I don't think I ever considered that he might get in automatically. So he must be like low down.
Right.
And Ghosty, especially for you, yes, Richard Gasquet is going to be playing his last Roland Garros and he's going to win the title. Yeah, Nishos is number 6 on the alternate list for the main draw at RG, so... The biggest story in the tennis world right now is whether Bernard Tomic will get into Roland Garros qualifying.
I know. He's now second.
No, he's first.
He's first even, yeah.
He's first now.
Shimabukuro maybe pulled out today. Someone like that.
I mean, yeah. Odds are like in his favor in a sense then.
Yeah, I mean, he's likely
to go, right?
Yeah, the draw will be made like Sunday afternoonish, and then basically you still have time until Monday in the morning, I suppose. But or anybody could pull out, sure. I mean, yeah, I mean he's probably gonna get in. I'm feeling optimistic.
Wow, Damian optimistic. It's first for everything.
At Maine today, Damian, he was pushing him.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a small miracle that he even got it to a first set, but has to regret some second serve returns. Yeah, saved 4 match points, and the whole match he created 1 break point and took it.
Yeah, Greek's ball was 2-14, and he was 1-1.
Yeah. Well, Tommy had a 40 love here, and I was kind of just like, we started talking about other stuff because I'm just thinking, okay, the game is done, basically, sure. So he gets on the board, but now it doesn't look like he will get on the board anymore.
Would it be kind of fitting if this one's like a breadstick or a bit?
I don't know if I made that prediction out loud or not. I was like, Sinner's just gonna do the same thing. It's gonna be a 30-minute set. And we're gonna
Would
be
it
like,
mean that the third goes to like a breaker or something?
of course, Marius.
Yeah. It's like
嗯
13-11 in a breaker. Like
Did you expect Pashavelli to beat Nakashima, team?
Tough to expect it, but I mean, when watching the match, you kind of start remembering all these encounters when Brandon comes up with someone against like this kind of raw pace, and he's been struggling against guys like that. So, like while watching it, I was like, yeah, that actually makes sense, but still a pretty incredible performance from him.
Right.
Not the level we've been used to seeing from the guy. So
Well, the double break is secured.
yeah, from 40 love, Tommy just kind of has a bit of a feat. Sinner hits a beautiful backhand down the line. Looks like the set is done, so we might just have a decider on our hands very quickly, and it could be a mirror image.
we
Also,
haven't
Nurlan,
even
to your question, I haven't been to any Asian countries. Eastern European, depending where you draw the line, is Hungary Eastern European? Is Lithuania Eastern European? That's as far as I've been.
I would say they are, yeah.
I'd probably say that too. I mean, it's kind of like everything on the right of Poland, but then again, Hungary is not really on the right of Poland, so definitely more like in terms of the mindset, it is very Eastern European, I'd say.
Yeah.
And the politics. Well, enough about politics. For love, Sinner, and well, I honestly don't know what to say. Third set, if we get it from here in like 10 minutes, I guess you still have to favor Jannik just because, yeah, he's Jannik. He's the fox. He's the carrot.
Yes.
The one difference I see about this set is that I don't see Paul holding for 5-1, and I see Sinner serving first in the third.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and I think that's going to be a real deal breaker when we get to like, if we get to like 5-4.
from 3 love, 40 love, I think he's lost
every point.
9 straight points.
Yep.
The most recent Italian women's singles Grand Slam champion was on our screens a second ago.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure who that was.
Yeah, that was not Jasmine Paolini. She made 2 finals. That was not Camila Giorgi. She didn't make a final, but she won a WT 1000. That was obviously Flavia Pennetta. She's thinking,
Camilla
Fabio could
Giorgi
have been
won
in the
a
semis
1000?
here.
Yeah, what year was that, Damien? When did Camilla win? 1000.
Canada 2021, I would guess, because 22
Okay.
was Halep. So yeah, 21.
Really? I had no idea. She kind of silently like retired last year, didn't she?
Yeah, she got into like some tax fraud situation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She
was
played,
also with Santiago Rodriguez Taverna for a while, if you know who that is.
She was with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some images from like Roland Garros maybe when the cameras caught them kissing, and she even went to Argentina to watch him play in a challenger.
Yeah.
Because she
wasn't she at was at Buenos Aires this year as like a reporter maybe?
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
I think she was, but that tournament where she went to watch him was like 2-3 years ago.
Okay, yeah. I have heard
Famously
that.
said
I
that
have
she
heard that
doesn't
name.
watch tennis, women's tennis.
Right.
Well, 5 love. We're gonna test that theory from Fergus in a moment. Weird match so far. Tough to kind of like get into it, but maybe the third set is just gonna be. what was it, like 28 minutes maybe in the opening sets? I guess Jannik
It
would
was
have to break.
21 or 22.
No, 21-22 was at 5 love.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
20.
that
I
was
think it was
when Paul was sitting
27
down at 5 love.
minutes. 27 minutes first set.
Yeah, so Jannik has to break to keep up the pace.
Oh yeah.
What are my expectations? What, for this season or in general? Nalan.
That's nasty here.
That is nasty.
Yeah.
This season, Nalan probably back inside the top 500 because she's kind of dropped a load of points. Well, I say a load. The like 54 points she had made.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that shout. Taberner Manarino. It's a deep cut, but it's recent enough that some will remember it.
In general, I'd probably say she's probably fighting in the future for British #1 women's status with probably Hannah Klugman at some point.
I don't have a list of players, Dave. I mean, the ones that you mentioned definitely are right. I think most just don't get to dictate that, right? I mean, it's only the superstars that do. So, like, we're not gonna know what Tommy Paul prefers because while he's obviously very good and high ranked, he's not gonna be dictating to a tournament. I want to play in the day, whereas Iga mostly does. So that's why we know that. But otherwise, I mean, I think it's also kind of dependent on the event and who they're playing. Yeah, that break is starting to look very likely with 2 set points. Well, what a match. What a match.
Yeah. Well, I guess like legs aren't really a factor at this point. So I mean, like we're getting us.
We're not gonna get a 3-hour grind fest. Like
right. That's what I was also gonna say.
Yeah, that's an avenue of like trying to win that it has been closed off for Tommy.
The Sinazilla. Ghosty, you can do better than the Sinazilla.
Just so physical.
That was a better switch up down the line that one like 10,000 points ago, and that's an even better one actually. So yeah, 2 in 1 point.
Yeah, and, absolutely.
It is a bagel for Jannik Sinner. So what a crazy match this is.
Called it. Do I think in 2 years she could be like Mira was 2 years ago? I probably wouldn't say so, no. In 2 years, I don't know. It depends on the opportunity she gets this summer, playing on the grass, to be honest. But, in 2 years, I don't know, she maybe will be loitering around that 150 mark, maybe, in 2 years. But, I don't know. 150, 200.
And 4. That's a big contrast to the 2 and 13 in terms of winner and first errors. 1% of slices in this set for Jannik Sinner. Well, it's definitely that 1% that made all the difference. 0% in the opener, 1% here, and you see what happened. If he starts slicing like 2% of the time, he's just gonna win a golden set here.
Yeah. Jamie, I'm now seeing Greek Sport was not happy with the crowd in Bordeaux.
Yeah, showed them something. Kind of looks like a bye-bye, which I don't know if there was something more. Maybe it's tough to say from the angle, but they just started booing, and well, we'll see what their reaction is like to him tomorrow. Basilashvili, they seem to really enjoy today when he played. So
yeah, he wanted the umpire to kick the fan out. That's wild.
Yeah, apparently he was just like gesturing to a small group of fans, but when he started doing that, the whole venue picked it up. Well, the French are what they are. Definitely make for some fun atmosphere, but also one of the more like partisan ones.
I think it's going to be key that Sinner's serving first.
Paolo Lorenzi. Oh my, so many legends in the stadium. I think he's the tournament director now, so he's probably in the stadium a lot. Started from the Cagliari Challenger in 2023. I think that was the first event he was the tournament director for, and see where he is now.
Wow.
Every single branch of life, Paolo Lorenzi is just getting incredible success.
How long have you been covering Challenger tennis, Damien?
2019, let's say. That was like on a daily-ish basis, September maybe. Was that a reference to me probably not like watching Paolo Lorenzi that much? Because actually the first ever challenger I attended, he won it over Daniel Jimeno Traver in the final. Incredible match. So good memories.
Yeah, I did call it. But I wouldn't say
you did
faded away exactly. Well, he kind of did, and then it was a combination of that and Jannik just kind of just being Jannik, really.
Yeah, it's tough to say what exactly happens, to be honest. Just Jannik grows more confident, starts blasting through the court, whereas previously he was struggling with that.
Fun fact when Damien first started commenting on pro tennis. Well, Gasquet was been in the latter stages of his career for a couple of years now.
Still beat Borna Coric last year in a 3-hour 3-set classic at Roland Garros. So
I think he's got one more in him.
Yeah, if he draws Bernard Tomic. In the main draw, it's gonna be difficult. I mean, I really don't know who he can beat.
Has Benoit Paire got a qualifying wildcard?
No.
That's so disappointing. Where is even Paire ranked? Like 400 and something?
Yeah, that would be my guess. He's getting a lot of challenger wildcards, though.
Yeah. It's because he's interesting to watch, whether he's, I don't know, he could be doing anything.
Yeah, I didn't think he was this much of a draw, but last year when he was in Kozerki, they actually like held that they wanted people to like show up to just like get autographs from him, which doesn't really happen. I haven't seen it with any other player in Polish challengers, really, I don't think. And people actually did show up just like randomly at the venue for some autographs with him when he ended at his opening round match. Me and my friend were just like two journalists talking to him, and people also just like followed us from the court. So actually there was, yeah, I mean, I had to admit that the tournament organizers were right, that it's worth it. Well, I mean, this is kind of the key game, right? I don't know if I'm going to have much confidence in Tommy Paul if he loses this.
Yeah, it's getting away from him quickly. Just needs like a good +1. Yeah, it was.
Oh my. Yeah.
It's good enough.
Yeah, we're like a break and hold away from the match feeling like it's over.
Right.
That
And then
break is
we'll leave
looking
this
more
match
likely.
saying we never really had a match.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know what
That's
I've
'cause
just watched.
it's never really got going, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 2 matches in one, both of them
Right.
super lopsided. But I don't know, maybe. Maybe Tommy still has a fighting chance here. Let's see.
It's the diabolical slice. It's really paying off. Yeah. It feels like Tommy's just hanging on for dear life here. But 30 all, probably the biggest point in the match for him.
I mean, how long was that point at
Right.
30-15? I mean,
Yeah, and your stream only seems to be getting quicker, Brennan.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pause.
You're in Rome right now. Campo Centrale.
Yeah.
Sitting with whoever we had there.
I'm going back 10 seconds.
I'm actually slowing down time in Rome, so I'm more in line with you guys.
But yeah, it was a very long point indeed, and that just like mid-court slice. Why not? Especially when Jannik was already getting pretty wary.
I'm telling you, that slice is.
I mean, you don't have to look for words. You've already said the best one possible. Diabolical.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially with all these sinner jokes. I think it fits even more. He's basically just like fighting off the new wave of anti-clericalism here.
Ghosty, that comment is very outrageous, to be honest.
Oh, they're showing us a little flash of Sinner grabbing his hamstring after making that forehand at 30 all. Something to keep an eye on.
That's actually both me. That's both the ghosty comment and also the question earlier from Nurlan. I think both. Well,
yeah, I know that's
both are similarly unhinged but funny. Sinner is nursing some blisters on his right foot. Okay, I didn't know that, to be honest.
That's a joke of a forehand. This could be another bagel if he breaks here.
Yeah, break and hold, and I don't know how he comes back to this, but well, still time. He was pretty impressive getting out of the self-30 here, Paul, but so far...
right. Now it feels like so monumental.
Yeah.
And that monumental pressure.
160 kilometers an hour on that forehand down the line.
Yeah, that was actually... we didn't talk about that. That was...
about 100 miles, yeah.
Flattening it out. High part of the net. Just Sinner doing Sinner things.
Oh no, Tommy.
Double faulting here.
And this match is over.
This is a very interesting stream as well. Like, people came in and, we watched a few games in the first set and we're like, the first set is done. We watched a few games in the second set and we're like, the second set is done. And now we watch the a few games in the third set, and we're like, the match is done. So basically, what the hell are we even watching? And my answer is still, I don't know.
Is the story over? I mean,
realistically, if Paul holds,
if Paul holds, who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, at the moment, Paul hasn't held since serving for that first set. So,
True.
Hey, Jake. Would this be better in a best of 5? Yeah, kind of, because I'd kind of think that Paul would win the fourth, like, 6-2. And then it'll be a 5th set breaker.
Yeah, that's always like kind of our dream, right? That if we see 2 sets like that, the third set just ends in a breaker. And then you still have a classic. Wasn't it Jacob Fernley against Buyun Chaukete last year that had a scoreline like that?
6-1, 6-1, 7-6.
Like 1-6, 6-love, 7-6 or something like that.
Where would it have been?
US hardcourt swing, Lincoln maybe.
Lincoln, or yeah.
There was Fernley lost the first set 0-6 love, and then I think it was 1-6 and then 7-6, but that was in France.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about, because I just remember the third set was amazing, but you kind of couldn't call it like the match of the week or something like that, because the first 2 were just nothing. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
it was in France. It was the final. It was like a.
No, that's against Alice. No, that's where he saved too much points. But
that was a third set breaker, though, wasn't it? And it was
it was love 6, 7-6, 6-3.
Oh, okay.
He saved too much points, but the scoreline you're referencing, and I'm like something similar. That was, I think, Lincoln or any other US hardcourt event.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, in qualifying at the US Open, he lost to Paul Jubb in the first round.
Yeah, but he was heavily injured.
Yeah, he was very hurt. I mean, he had done so much workload going into it.
He had something like his wrist or something like that, and was hitting insane forehands, but like that was all he could do, just hit insane forehands out of position.
Sinner's still grabbing at the hamstring anytime he misses a forehand on the run.
Just giving Paul.
Yeah, we haven't really had the chance to talk about it during Rome, but during Australia, I think I already said it, that like at this point with Jannik, I'm just not looking at any body clues for him, because he just belongs to the school of Djokovic and Monfils.
Yep. Does you think so?
Yeah, I mean, you can never really say if he's, how serious something is for him. I think he tends to show a lot, and sometimes, it's not really that serious.
Oh, this turned into a really big point.
Yeah, it was actually a bagel and 7-6 between Fernley and Buyun Chaukete. So even better than that, yeah. And it was indeed the Lincoln semis, as I was thinking about.
Yeah, I hate those.
That point will sum up this third set.
Could be.
Paul all over him, just ready to finish him, and then Sinner just comes up with something.
Oh, yeah, ghosty genetics definitely plays a big part. Like, I do think Jannik is more fragile physically than most players, 100%. But it doesn't seem to be, like, in most cases, it's not stopping him. And if I was to just sit here and, commentate on Sinner's every match, basically every single encounter, it would be something like, oh, Jannik is not looking great physically now. And then he starts playing much better. Like, I'm sure out of the 100 clues that he's going to show, about 15 are going to be really relevant and actually very serious. But I just can't trust them anymore, because I know he tends to just accentuate this stuff. it's nothing wrong, obviously. It's just, some players tend to like have this idea that I'm not going to show anything to the opponent, and others just think that basically they should do it because the opponent is also going to be a little like confused and is going to mess with their heads. And both ideas, both approaches are perfectly fine.
That's not a bad shout. Murray had terrible body language, like consistently.
Oh, Murray is definitely part of that group too. Yeah.
The amount of match, well, I mean, it kind of doesn't help him that the amount of match he unnecessarily took to 5 were an endless list of.
Yeah, but so many times he's like, struggling, grimacing, wincing between the points, and then he's just running left and right, right? And that's the same like Monfils, and yeah.
Yeah. Specifically, I remember, like, which was kind of just when I was kind of entering the tennis world, was against Kokkinakis in Australia, where Murray actually looked like he couldn't walk in between points, and then like there was that crazy point where like Kokkinakis had like 5 smashes on top of the net, and Murray returned all of them before Kokkinakis missed the forehand and then broke his racket.
Very important match in Talking Tennis history, because I was in Bonn with Mario and John, and we were watching that until like 6 p.m. local time, when we started a stream at maybe midnight or 1 a.m. and we were basically sitting until the end of play continuously without any sleep, trying to survive to the end of that match. And it was 5 hours and was all the craziness you mentioned.
Yeah.
And yeah, somehow we did it. Then we went to sleep for like 6 hours and started another stream. There was a conversation, I think, in the group as well, something about like, incredible smashing, incredible defense, or just horrible smashes.
I think it was actually a little bit of both. Like Kokkinakis did literally nothing with the smashes. Like it looked like he didn't actually get a hold of any of them.
Oh yeah, they had to be much better. Still good anticipation.
Yeah, it's great anticipation.
Yeah.
But
and then to miss the forehand on a neutral rally ball's just
right.
Yeah, but after all of that, I mean, I can understand
true.
that. It's more that he didn't close it out earlier. But yeah, Tommy Paul gets a game. I think Jannik was definitely a little slow to that forehand corner on the last point. But it's still 2 games lead, 3-game lead if he can hold. Let's see if there's a miracle here coming up or not. The religious themes, they just keep coming with Jannik, I guess.
That was maybe one of the first matches that I properly like tuned into the whole thing, because I was still at school, and I remember it started at like midday at school, and I'd gone through 4 different lessons and it was still happening, and I was watching it on my phone, and then I got on the bus, got home, went for a run, came back, and it was still going on. And then he had to play Batista Agut in the next round, where he just got absolutely cooked in that first set and then somehow won the second.
Yeah, it was a decent effort. I actually enjoyed it more than the previous 2 matches. It was pretty impressive.
Well, because he had Berrettini in round 1, didn't he? And he nearly
he saved the match point when Matteo just missed like a very easy backhand. By the way, there's more hamstring grabbing here, and again he was very slow to the forehand corner, Jannik.
That's what I'm noticing. Moving to the right is difficult. Sliding into it. I mean, that was a brutal rally in terms of
absolutely
moonballing, like difficult. I mean, it wasn't even moonballing; it's just like lobbing to stay in the point.
Yeah, moonballing is Medvedev Nori. That's moonballing. This was just that's baseline to baseline, kind of trying to stay in the rally.
I mean, if Paul breaks back, I mean, I feel like we're gonna have.
Yeah. Again, he looks like he actually looks like he's completely like done. Like in between points, like he's completely done, and then like in between points, he looks like he can go forever.
Yeah. Tommy, I mean, now we're actually seeing that physical advantage kind of come to fruition again, but he also still needs to make good choices, which at low 30, that backhand kind of was not. But we have 2 breakpoints, so. Suddenly it looks interesting again, and suddenly it looks like, at least for now, the whatever issue it is, hamstring or whatever, is causing Jannik some discomfort, especially as Brenner said, moving to the right, covering the forehand corner.
I mean, I'm just curious if he's gonna call the physio. Like, I feel like that.
He's played a lot this week, obviously, compared to the last few months. Maybe at some point it hits him. It's kind of weird that the last match was so short, and then here.
This is what I was saying earlier. Just kind of like, as much as he hasn't played like long matches this week, like it's still got to hit him eventually. Like there are guys out there that like they come back from injury and they come back from a long spell away, and like in their first match it goes 3 sets and they're puffing and they're nowhere near their peak sort of.
Yeah, but usually they're coming back of an injury, right? I mean, condition in terms of conditioning, like he had all the possibility to prepare, just like it's, I don't know, an off season of sorts. Of course, it's longer than the off season. Of course, you're never gonna like replicate actual match this tiredness, but still, it's a little different. I honestly didn't think it was gonna hit him by now, like because of what he did yesterday and kind of how quick most of his matches were. I didn't think it was going to hit him. It's clearly impacting him, but he's handled stuff like this before, so he's not quite done yet.
I wonder if not this changeover, but next changeover, if Paul keeps him running around, whether he does call for the trainer like you said.
Such an unhinged match, and we just have more of that basically here. Sorry, that's just a noodle question to Fergus. That's
when you're confused. No, I always do it now.
Never change.
Yeah, I guess if we're going off of this week, then Stearns is like top 10 for Roland Garros, I guess.
I know Ghosty is gonna want to have that conversation on like WTA Weekly or something like that.
I'm just poking everyone in chat just to see what their reactions are like.
I mean,
top
20 maybe.
Yeah, goes crazy. She like reaches like the quarters.
She might as well lose in the opening round, but she might also just take this confidence and run with it. Is she still playing Rabat or did she pull out? I mean, I think she should pull out.
Right.
I don't care about being the defending champion. Just get some rest.
Took 3 deciding breakers and an absolute epic.
Yeah, I think she just prioritize rest rather than defending this title.
That's what Rude has done.
Yeah.
But obviously he's played, 9 games in a row. I mean, Sinner I actually just think obliterating.
Yeah. But yeah, I just still keeping an eye on how he moves to his right. Really pushes off like a running forehand.
Yeah, I guess Tommy was somewhat trying to do that here, but just
love 30.
Baseball that one out of the stadium.
Damien, how is Shevchenko and Pesci Perry card? Did you watch any of it?
No, I didn't actually.
It was.
I know
okay.
that GMP broke to love, which was kind of hilarious. But I didn't see a ball now.
It was okay. It wasn't like amazing. Like the biggest highlights that like the Challenger Tour like Twitter could take out of it was a terrible drop shot from GMP, which Shevchenko did nothing with. And then he just passed him on the backhand, which was like that was their main highlight of the match. But it was like a long rally, but like Shevchenko should have
but
so
because it was a one-hander passing shot, right?
Yeah,
That's
right.
a classic.
Yeah.
That basically,
yes,
anytime
I
there's a
saw that
one-hander
one,
passing
yeah.
shot, it can be the simplest shot in the world. They're still gonna post it. I'm not saying only the Challenger Tour account, but also Tennis TV, right? With Steph, it happens so much. It's like
So
the most
much, yeah.
routine backhand winner ever, but they're just gonna post it, and that's like the the bad side of one-handers are more aesthetic or whatever, which I obviously subscribe to. Just let's not make that thing out of it.
That's
no.
because you also have a one-hander, by the way, Damien.
That's more
In case
because
anyone
Federer
in
had a
chat.
one-hander probably rather than myself, but yeah, I do like one-handers for sure, but it definitely originated more with Federer having it rather than me.
Okay, so why, Damien? You also have me thinking now that Sinner is like such a faker, like pulling him on bees on me.
Well, not
So-
faker, but I
No,
do
but-
think he definitely doesn't hide anything,
Yeah.
and he's just like I think he's doing it consciously. I think he's consciously showing pretty much anything that like hurts him, even slightly. I do think he consciously shows it. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, why would Tommy Paul ever bail out of that rally at 30 all? Like, I'm curious if he's like overthinking it at a point.
I mean, could be, but also Tommy Paul is in a position where he's definitely like mentally, all over the place right now.
Right.
So.
I mean, Sinner makes you overhit anyway, right? So you then take away, and there's another factor going into it that kind of like messes with the chemistry of the match, and you're kind of thinking about that as well as thinking out how much you want to go for this sort of rally, and it kind of just all adds up together to make him like go even bigger to then bail out the rally because he just wants it to end, right? If he doesn't win the rally, everyone's like, well, Sinner's injured, like, how have you not won this match, like what's going on? And so he's just trying to think, I just want this point to end as soon as possible. But
I mean, that is just sorry.
Yeah, that's absurd. I mean, Tommy was just like completely knocked, like his balance, it's kind of like he took a shotgun and the recoil was massive.
He's like, how is that not a winner?
It, right?
He was like, also like, how is that not a winner? Like after I hit it that hard. Yeah, there's Sinner sliding.
It's literally like recoil on a gun, and Jannik was just ready to pick up the pieces, but well,
it's just such a joke. It's actually just
it is a joke, yeah. He unleashed the bazooka, but the bazooka just like didn't do any damage. There was like an invisible shield. I don't know, Ghosty, if I'd call it gamesmanship, to be honest. Yeah, it's tough for me to respond to this. I think it's like on the verge. If someone says it's gamesmanship and that it's unfair, sure, it's your opinion. But myself, probably, I think it's within your rights to do it. I don't think he just like comes up with this stuff. I think he really feels something, but then he just doesn't hide it whatsoever, and just basically makes sure that the opponent sees it. So is it gamesmanship? I guess everybody has their own definition. For me, like, it doesn't hinder my enjoyment of watching him, not really. And yeah, Djokovic is very much in that group too.
If Damien,
would you call it diabolical?
Yeah. If Damien remembers from a couple streams ago, I'd like to win my house back. I'm gonna.
Oh no, you're just gonna say that he's not gonna hold, right?
Yes,
yeah,
I am.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious, so I don't think I can give you your house back yet.
No.
Fergus, we're gonna be recording the previews later, right? So maybe if you make some good predictions there.
Okay, cool, great.
You can bet your house there on Yeah, on the result of either final, actually. You can bet your house on the result of either final there, and we'll be fine.
Great. Cool.
Or, I don't know, like, rebet your house, whatever you're gonna do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that point was just diabolical. That one where Tommy
Misses
went
on
for
the
it.
forehand. Yeah, went for it and just misses. Yeah. Oh, there's a whole process, Ghosty, and you know it's it's like layering, and then so it's a layer put on top of. So they put loads of layers on, and then they put the tape on, and then then they put another layer over the top, and they sweep and stuff. I think anyway.
I was gonna say, is that so?
I think there was the Miami Open did it as well, where they showed like building the entire stadium and like how they make the courts, how it is, and yeah, the Roland Garros did one of those I think a year or so ago. Obviously, they might not do it the same here in Rome. I mean, that's how they do it in Roland Garros. So, a Sinner Alcaraz final, most likely. Unless Paul just comes out of nowhere. I mean, does Tommy Paul have the self-belief right now to feel like he's still in this match?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he lost it when he hit that bazooka. It's like the most important point of the match.
The best reserve is just below and the others are all good. I mean, if you're going for the tone of 2025, you can't say Zverev's just below Sinner and Alcaraz, right? I mean, yes, he won the title in Munich, but apart from that, he made the final of the AO. But then that sort of time in between those events, he was nowhere, wasn't he? So.
Yeah, it's still the final of the biggest event, though.
True, but what is Zverev this year? Like 18 and what, 8? Something like that.
I think it's better. Isn't it like 24 and 9? I think I had to put it in a table today somewhere, so I think I remember it. It was 24 and 9, I think.
"2025 is the year of Stearns." She's waited till May to make it her year, but
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe we'll try 2026 because I do believe in her. I do.
Yeah, I believe in her too. I always said she had such a good game, but then again, I also said that Kokkinakis had a really good game, and right now he's injured, so you know.
He's injured. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
You said that about Kokkinakis?
Yeah, I made the comparison that they both have really good games, but they never put it together into a run that kind of boosts them up their rankings.
I actually don't mind that comparison, but Stearns needs more time, I think. For that
absolutely. Ghosty, we're not going to make this again. I think it was my second ever stream, my first stream with Damien, where we just made the Kokkinakis jokes just consistently, and just there was no relenting. me and Damien were doing last ball drops. I think it was my second stream, and
What were you
I
doing?
think it was just making the Kokonakis jokes, like relenting. Yeah, I was about to say it looks like Damien's about to tweet. So
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know that's not because of the result, but
either he's tweeting about this or Bubla Ketchavari.
that's old news.
Yeah. Match point. 2 match points for Sinner.
My headphones have just died on me.
Well, 2 points, 2 match points have come and gone. Center is trying to end that highlight reel-esque with a.
I feel like Nurlan doesn't even watch matches. He just watches the stream on camera. You know, he watches all of that.
He does. 100% he does.
Well, Fergus, good thing your house.
Good thing Damien didn't want to put my house back up on the market.
I mean, you have one last chance. It is add Paul.
Yeah.
You can double your house.
Maybe I should have said I want to win my house back by saying that Paul does hold it. But it's too late for that now. But we're back to juice anyway, so
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I probably would have allowed that, but yeah, it's too late now.
Yeah.
Is it too late for Tommy Paul though? I mean, saving 2 match points. You know what a comeback this could be.
If buts and maybes, you know. We'll look to Wimbledon. I mean, Wimbledon, I think I just focus on Roland Garros for the moment, and then we'll focus on the best slam. That's just, yeah. Do you guys?
I imagine the cock probably like gets into a lot of these ifs, buts, and maybes. Especially, yeah, never mind. Anyway, 5-3 earnings in it. That was gonna make it too obvious. I'm gonna leave it as a bit of a, intelligent. It's not an intelligent joke.
When am I gonna tweet hashtag back the gun? I don't know. I think that wouldn't go down with maybe the whole of the tennis Twitter community and also all the guys on my course at university.
The Brits wouldn't approve of that one.
Well, yeah. Also, the guys at my uni maybe wouldn't approve that. If my lecturer saw me tweeting hashtag back the cock, I don't know how that goes. But I've just lost my house again.
Virtually.
So I'm now -1 house. And Sinner will have to serve it out. And Paul does take the first point.
Yeah. It's never easy. If you see him and you don't take him. Yeah. Fergus, you've moved on from your own house.
Yeah,
That thing's cooked.
James's house is gone. Oh, actually, yeah. James or anyone else in the UK. Rachel's house is gone now as well. Yeah.
Because of Draper or what?
No, well, I don't even remember what my last one was. I said I bet my house that was it. It was something about a return into the net.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Draper match though.
Well, we are in Jannik's house here, sort of, in Rome. Of course, he's from Tyrol, but He is playing at home, and he has just 2 more points to go if he wants to make the final. Meet Alcaraz again, the only opponent who had a winning record against him last year, probably. I'm kind of guessing, but
How many? Yeah, I think so. Unless he just played Rublev just the once, which I don't think happened.
Yeah, he probably beat him somewhere as well.
I'm not a betting man, though, and I've never made a bet in my life. Unless it's to Damien for my house, but apart from that, nothing.
Well, still 2 points away, but it is looking at
Yeah.
least vaguely interesting now.
What I've enjoyed about the return for Sinner in
Was
terms
a
of
very good return from Tommy.
Darth Carrot, is that an official shade?
Right, Damien, now you've creeped ahead of me, so.
Oh, really? That's wild.
Now you're in Rome.
Well,
No,
yeah.
no.
All the roads lead to Rome.
Is Sinner gonna win this point?
I might actually just close my ears because now I'm really invested. I don't want to hear what you guys say.
Just talk us through it then, Hergus. What's happening on your screen right now?
Sinner's about to serve at 30 all.
Okay.
Goes out wide, return from Tommy down the line. Sinner goes backhand up the line, defense. And yes, Tommy goes long with the forehand. So it's match point for Jannik, his third. And Tommy might have felt after that return it was a little. So he was in the point 30 all, but as Sinner so often does, just turns it around. And that is that. Google spoiling it for me, as always. No real change there.
Well, what I was gonna say in terms of like what I've enjoyed from Sinner's return to tennis is I feel like even this week it has felt fairly straightforward, but he's had to go through all these just like different, I guess, hiccups, different experiences throughout the match. Having to save break points. And now, I guess, losing a set. How does he respond from losing a set? And I guess now...
pretty good, I guess.
Yeah.
But also the adversity was kind of up and down. I mean, I really don't know what to say after this one. I think probably the bigger takeaway, rather than, Jannik winning, will be the whole conversation of like the hamstring and how much it can bother him on Sunday as well. Where the number of matches just keeps the fact that it keeps increasing this week, and he has just returned, like whether this is going to be important or not. Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest.
I feel like that has to be the storyline going in is like, how is Jannik holding up physically going into the final?
Like, that's kind of the biggest takeaway from this match, because what else can you really say? Otherwise, it was just so weird. And Tommy definitely had a shot in there, but on the other hand, he lost 9 games in a row?
Yeah.
I very much agree with the tweet that Vansh put up there that was on the screen a second ago. I feel like it was... I think I don't remember if it was him, but a lot of people said after the Alcaraz Musetti match, like they were just trashing the quality, and just so wrong for me. But
it's strange. I don't really know what to say. I mean, that was I guess what we can say is that we now finally have this matchup.
And in a big final, right? For the first time.
Yeah. This is what everyone's been waiting for. I mean, we've been waiting for it for so long in a big final because somehow we haven't had it yet. I mean, what the biggest we've had is a slam semi-final in Roland Garros last year where it went to 5, but these two always,
final. I don't know if it's
500
comparable
final
or not.
The obviously Indian Wells semi-final last year. These two always bring out the best in each other, like always. I don't think there's ever been a bad match between these two. Not a bad match, but a boring one in a sense. I mean, that Beijing final was crazy good. Alcaraz obviously coming out on top. Was the head-to-head now 5-3? 5-4?
7-4.
Yeah.
7-4. Wow, 7-4. I'm just so behind on that. 7-4 to Alcaraz.
And that
like
does
the
include,
King
by the
Slam
way,
included in there.
that does include their challenger meeting, yes.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
think the bigger story, I mean, last year, right? 3 matches and Carlos wins all of them. Kind of like the only thing he had over Jannik last year. Of course, they both won 2 slams, but he also had the head-to-head, even though Jannik had a better season on all the levels, I mean, basically. So that was quite incredible. And all of these matches were the same, right? So just like Jannik comes out with some incredible hitting in the first 20, 30 minutes. It's so tough to navigate that. And especially Indian Wells and Roland Garros. Like Carlos just had to come up with some tricks, almost. In Indian Wells, it was the slice. In Roland Garros, it was a moonballing. And like he throws him off and eventually beats him. But, it was never easy. Definitely not. It had patches where Jannik seems like he's just going to like almost double bagel him. So in the best of 5 format, I would probably still favor Carlos simply because there's so much time and he has more options than Jannik. And in that matchup, he seems to like think straight. Whereas in some other ones, he does not, obviously against Novak especially. So in the best of 5 format, if they were going to play in Rome, best of 5 on Sunday, I would probably say Carlos. Best of 3, ignoring the hamstring, it's like a 50-50 really. And it's so fascinating as well to get this, of course, 2 weeks before Roland Garros, right? Just, this could very well be the final in Paris.
Yep. I think it's also interesting. I guess Carlos has lost the first set in the last 3, maybe even 4 matchups. So like I feel like you know what you're gonna get out of Sinner in terms of how he like approaches.
So this is not the preview show? We're not doing
Oh
it
yeah,
here?
I was gonna say, are we?
I thought we were just doing it here.
Yeah, we're going straight into it, but okay.
Yeah, let's just go into it. Ciao.
Fantastic. That means I'm just gonna have to say that all over again.
Again, yeah.
See you guys.
Yeah, ciao. Bye. John's struggling to find.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.